Good morning, my friends. How are you? I'm adjusting the camera a little bit so you can all see me and hear me clearly. And I'm very grateful to be sharing this platform and this space of consciousness with you. And so I thank you. And I also will apologize that many times I'm redundant in saying the same thing, but hopefully from a different perspective so that we can expand our conversation. I would very much enjoy your feedback, both positive and negative, and also any criticisms you have. And here we go. So we continue our exploration of reality down the rabbit hole, or should I say, in the direction of the event horizon of ultimate reality. So we will continue our journey today down the rabbit hole in the direction of the event horizon of ultimate reality. So please tell me if you'd like to continue on this topic. And as soon as we get to about 1,000 people in this space of shared experience, shared cognition, shared perspective, shared perception, as soon as we get to that 1,000, I will discuss today's topic. So please let me know if you want to continue with this conversation. And please invite your friends also. Hello Ingam from Norway. Hello Alpa Patel. Hello Maria Jet. Hello Christia from Stockholm. Hello Lenny from wherever, somewhere non-local. Katie Hans says, let's do it. Patrick says, thank you. And I see that all of you are joining now, and we're up to over 500. So today's topic is going to be if the physical world is our perception of it, if the physical world that you are experiencing is your perception of it, and the physical world that I'm experiencing is the perception of it, my perception of it, how come we all see the same world? This is a question many cognitive scientists ask. So if the experience of the physical world is our perception of it, and we're all using our perception to see the world, then how come you and I and everybody else, at least all humans, experience the same world? And the second question is if we are all aspects of the one mind, if we are all contained in the one mind, then how come we can't experience each other's thoughts? So funny, isn't it, that we all experience the same world despite our individual perceptions of it, and we all experience different thoughts even though we are part of the one mind. So if you like that, I will immediately start on it. Okay, so the first thing to realize is that our perception of the world is not the look of it. Very important. Our perception is a learned phenomenon. However, human perception, which is the perception of the species that we call human consciousness, is within a particular band of activity. Okay, even though we have access to infinite nuances of flavor, fragrance, texture, colors, forms, shapes, sounds, although we have access to infinite nuances of experience through our five senses. Um, the five senses themselves have access to a band of experiences that are, in your case, in my case, entirely human. And so too, other species have their own bandwidth of perceptual activity. So the reason you and I see the same world is that we see it through the lens of human consciousness, of course filtered by the conditioned mind. Ramanand Dikshit, namaste. Okay, so the reason you and I share or experience the same world is that we share the bandwidth of perceptual activity. In a sense, we share it with other species too. They experience their own bandwidth of perceptual activity. And think of us all, human species and other species, as symbolic representations of species-specific consciousness in a virtual reality arcade. So let's say we are playing virtual tennis, and in a virtual reality arcade. And the body-mind that I'm using right now to play is also a virtual body-mind in the virtual arcade. So I take my virtual tennis ball with my virtual hand and virtual tennis racket and throw it across the virtual tennis net, in the virtual tennis court to you, the virtual body-mind on the other side. And it has its own virtual tennis ball, its own virtual racket, its own virtual arm, its own virtual body, but we are sharing the virtual reality in space and time of the tennis court. Okay, so the tennis ball I throw at you is not the tennis ball you see. You see your own tennis ball, and you strike back, you serve back with your own virtual body and your own virtual racket. And your tennis ball is a different tennis ball than mine, but they both have the same appearance because we are both using the bandwidths of human consciousness to create that virtual experience. So we experience the same physical world. But actually, we don't really know whether we're experiencing the same physical world, because what you call red is your experience of red, and what I call red is my experience of red. And we are assuming it's the same experience, and I think reasonably so, because we have the same human consciousness, and therefore we experience the same world, but it's our own world, just like it's your own body, it's your own mind. So that's the reason why, even though the world is our perception of it, we experience the same world perceptually because we are the same species. But we also interact with other species that are virtual beings in the same virtual arcade of space-time and causality. And even though we are interacting with other conscious agents or interacting with other species, they don't necessarily experience the same perceptual reality. There might be similarities. So all mammals maybe experience similar perceptual realities to some extent with leaky margins and crossover. Other species certainly don't. If they're not mammals, if they're reptiles, if they're plants, if they're bacteria, obviously their experience is not the the same, but we are all still in the ecosystem of virtual reality arcade. So I hope that's a good explanation for where we are so far. But then if we are also the one mind, then why can't I experience your thoughts? Why can't I experience your thoughts? And the answer is, actually, if I have deep empathy and I observe your body language, your facial expressions, the tone of your voice, and the movement of your eyes, and your gestures, and your facial expressions, then I feel what you feel, and I might even experience your thoughts. This is what we call deep empathy and deep compassion, and ultimately also love. So we can experience each other's thoughts. But in generally, we don't experience each other's thoughts because we interpret through our conditioned minds. And so even though there's the one awareness, there are innumerable conditioned minds, innumerable human conditioned minds, but also innumerable species-specific minds. One consciousness, innumerable conditioned minds, innumerable conditioned species as modes of knowing and experience in the one consciousness. So we can't experience each other's thoughts, generally speaking. But if we can transcend to the source of all knowing and experience, then we can go beyond our species-specific experience and our culture-specific experience and transcend to that level of pure consciousness or pure knowing or pure awareness of experiencing. Then we can not only tap into each other's minds and emotions, but even each other's perceptual realities. And these are what people today call psychic experiences. But psychic experiences are just dormant potentials of possibility of experience in the one mind. So yes, we can experience each other's thoughts. We certainly experience each other's perceptions. And ultimately, we are all aspects of the one consciousness. And I like to always give the example or make the statement that differentiation is not separation. Differentiation is not separation. So we are differentiated minds, differentiated experiences of body, differentiated experience of the world, but all in the one consciousness. Just like your body and its organs are differentiated modes of knowing of the one cell, the one pluripotential cell that gave you the experience of this life. And although the organs of the body all appear separated, they are differentiated aspects of the wholeness of experience in the one body. So our thoughts, our perceptions, our interpretations are differentiated aspects of the one intelligence in the ecosystem of consciousness. Why is this important? It gets us beyond our fear of death. It gets us beyond our struggle with existential anxiety and depression, and brings us the ultimate joy of freedom, knowing that we are the source of all knowing and all experience in the ecosystem of all intelligence. Now, I hope this makes sense to you, and if it didn't, then please tell me why and give me feedback, and also let me know what your objections are, and then let me also know if this brings you some solace. So thank you very much, and until next time, I'm here and so are you. Hi Shaheen. Good morning Elvira. Hello Katie. Thank you Monica. Thank you Louis. I'll be back tomorrow, I hope.